Gear 5 has shaken the anime universe not once, but twice. Even though it's become one of the most iconic transformations in anime history, there remains a plethora of unanswered questions and mysteries about these astonishing powers. So today, we're going to explore everything we've learned about Gear 5 and Luffy's mythical sun god Nika's Zoan fruit. Let's begin with how Luffy awakened this extraordinary power, and believe me, it appears as if Luffy accessed it by almost dying. In episode 1070, Kaido brutally crushes Luffy, and it appears that our Straw Hat captain is dead. Although it's not explicitly stated, Kaido seems convinced that Luffy has perished and subsequently goes on a rampage within the castle. Even Momonosuke claims Luffy's voice has vanished. Given that Momo possesses the voice of all things, it's reasonable to assume he isn't just making this up, although there is an alternative explanation we will address shortly. And then we see the legendary smile, signifying the return of Joy Boy. This essentially means Luffy has awakened his Devil Fruit and unlocked the true powers of his Devil Fruit. Interestingly, the 5 Elder Stars reveal that Luffy's Devil Fruit isn't the Gomu Gomu no Mi as previously believed, but is actually the mythical Zoan human fruit, model sun god Nika. Before we dive into the profound impact this revelation will have on the story, let's first outline the abilities his power grants him. Firstly, the Elder Stars disclose that the initial ability of this fruit is to transform the user's body into rubber, aligning with what we've always understood about Luffy's fruit. But that's just the tip of the iceberg, because we're informed that, when in battle, the user is seemingly limited only by their imagination, which is the most intriguing aspect of Luffy's new abilities. Case in point, Luffy reaches down into the castle with a colossal fist, grabbing the massive dragon Kaido as if he were a child clutching a small toy snake. Then we witness the true extent of these extraordinary powers as Luffy inflates his muscles like an animated character, whirls Kaido around like a cyclone, and violently tosses him back and forth as if Kaido weighed nothing. Luffy has clearly attained an immense power upgrade, as evidenced by his ability to effortlessly take down Kaido in a manner we've never seen before. And this brings us to his next extraordinary ability, something we've seen before with Paramecia Devil Fruit Awakenings. In this episode, we see Luffy physically grabbing the rooftop and bending it upwards to block Kaido's blast breath. Essentially, Luffy is transforming his surroundings into rubber, an ability seen before with other awakened Paramecia Devil Fruits like Doflamingo's Strings and Katakuri's Mochi. However, what sets Luffy's awakened powers apart is his ability to seemingly turn other individuals into rubber as well. We witness this when Luffy inflates Kaido like a balloon and stretches through Kaido's eyes and body, among other things. So, Luffy's awakening clearly enables him to convert both the environment and other people into rubber, at least when he is in contact with them. Yet, perhaps the most remarkable of Luffy's abilities, and the one most associated with Gear 5, is Luffy's newfound capability to make his imagination a reality. This is where this Devil Fruit truly establishes itself as one of the most overpowered abilities in the series. As demonstrated in this episode, Luffy can perform feats that defy logic, such as effortlessly altering his size to become larger and more muscular. Later on, we will see that he can apparently conjure objects out of thin air, like goggles. But that's just the beginning, because Luffy's new abilities might also shed light on one of the most puzzling mysteries surrounding his powers since the time skip. Back in Fishman Island, Luffy first unveiled his fire powers when he defeated a fishman with his Red Hawk attack. Against Kaido, he used an even more powerful Red Rock fire attack, which was mind-blowing in the anime. For years, many speculated that Luffy could wield fire due to intense friction, but now we know that his fire abilities could be an early manifestation of his awakened powers. And this might just be the beginning of Luffy's elemental capabilities, because Gear 5 has even allowed Luffy to grasp lightning and hurl it at his adversaries. In the future, Luffy might be able to manipulate other elements or Devil Fruit abilities with his incredible new powers. However, there are some crucial drawbacks and limitations to these powers that we must first discuss, including one that could potentially alter Luffy forever. But let's take a step back. Although it's explained that Luffy is only limited by his imagination, it's definitely not an infinite power. For instance, he can't simply imagine Kaido being defeated and it will automatically happen. So it isn't a guaranteed win. Additionally, Gear 5's powers seem primarily restricted to Luffy's body or objects he is touching. He can't just snap his fingers and change the world, at least not yet. And this brings us to the fact that, similar to Luffy's previous gear transformations, when Luffy uses his awakened powers, it appears to severely deplete his stamina and may even diminish his lifespan. Indeed, we see him mention that he could only use his powers for a few minutes and even witness a chilling transformation into an old man during a lull in the battle. However, all of this pales in comparison to another potential danger of Luffy's awakening. Remember when we mentioned that Luffy seemed to die before awakening his powers? Well, one theory about Luffy's awakening is that he did indeed die, and the spirit of his devil fruit somehow possessed Luffy's body. There is some evidence to support this, such as the noticeable change in Luffy's heartbeat and his uncontrollable laughter while using the form. Even a giant elephant comments that it's the first time they've heard Luffy's distinctive heartbeat in 800 years, and it is then explicitly stated that Joy Boy has returned. So while it hasn't been thoroughly explained even in the manga, it's possible that by dying, Luffy allowed the spirit of Joy Boy to inhabit his body and bring him back to life. It may sound strange, but considering that devil fruits seem to have a will of their own, the spirit of Joy Boy may have been residing in this devil fruit for centuries, waiting for the right person to awaken its abilities. You might be wondering, why is this risky for Luffy? Well, when we first see this transformation, it's a bit unsettling to watch Luffy laugh uncontrollably. It appears that he literally can't stop. So we must consider the possibility that Luffy's awakening allowed some ancient spirit to enter and alter his personality. This could be why Momo felt Luffy's voice had disappeared, because it's plausible that his voice completely changed once he unlocked Gear 5. While it may seem improbable, who knows what could happen with these new abilities. However, we have consistently seen throughout the series that whenever Luffy unlocks a new ability, such as Gear 2, 3, or 4, he initially faces significant drawbacks, like a time limit or turning into a miniature version of himself, but eventually, he masters the powers and can use them with a few limitations. Perhaps the same will occur with Gear 5 in the future, which could lead to even more new powers, even though this is likely his last major gear upgrade. But before we dive into all the incredible foreshadowing and future significance of Gear 5 for the story, let's discuss the actual Devil Fruit's brief history. We knew from the very beginning of the story that Shanks and his crew had stolen this legendary Devil Fruit from a world government ship, so the government possessed it at some point, which always made me wonder why they had it in the first place. Thankfully, we've recently received some more context about this from Who's Who was one of the CP9 agents aboard the ship, and because it was CP9 with the Devil Fruit, it leads me to believe that they were dispatched on a specific mission to retrieve it. So it seems the government had been searching for the fruit, which was indeed confirmed in this episode when the 5 Elder Stars revealed that the world government had been trying, and failing, to acquire the fruit for 800 years. It's true that the idea of Luffy awakening his Devil Fruit and potentially being related to the legendary Joy Boy has been subtly hinted at throughout the series. There have been several instances where Luffy's actions, such as the pose or the symbolic act of bringing light to a dark situation, have been associated with sun or dawn imagery. It seems to reinforce the idea that Luffy is a chosen one, destined to bring about a new era of freedom, just as Joy Boy was said to have done in the past. The frequent use of the concept of dawn and the imagery of the sun rising are deeply symbolic elements in the One Piece narrative. They signify hope, rebirth, and freedom from oppression, often marking the end of Luffy's victorious battles, as we've seen in arcs like Skypiea, Thriller Bark, Alabasta, and Dressrosa. In all these cases, Luffy's triumphs parallel the dawn, breaking a dark period in an island's history and heralding a new era of light and freedom. Regarding the government's desire to keep the Gomu Gomu no Mi a secret in their renaming of the Devil Fruit, it's evident that they feared the potential awakening of its true powers. The government's concern over the Devil Fruit suggests that its abilities could be linked to the Void Century, the One Piece, or some other world-changing secret. They may have been trying to prevent the world from learning about the fruit's true nature and capabilities, which is now exposed since Luffy has awakened it. It'll be interesting to see how Luffy's awakening and connection to Joy Boy further impacts the series, and whether it indeed unlocks more secrets related to the One Piece, the Void Century, and the world's true history. As the story progresses, we can expect even more revelations and exciting developments that shed light on the mysteries that have been building up for years. Indeed, Luffy has been consistently freeing islands and liberating oppressed people throughout his journey in One Piece. It seems like his path has been aligning with that of Joy Boy's legacy. The promise left in the Poneglyph on Fishman Island is closely tied to the Noah Ark, the Fishman People, and the Sea Kings. Joy Boy had initially intended to use the Ark for a purpose that would bring about a significant change, but he could not fulfill his promise as indicated in the Poneglyph. In the context of the story, it appears that Luffy is inheriting the will of Joy Boy. The term inherited will has been a recurring theme in One Piece, and it represents the idea that a person's ideals and aspirations can be passed down to another even after their death. Many characters in the series, such as Goldie Roger, Portgas the Ace, and now Joy Boy, have passed on their wills to the next generation. Luffy's actions align with Joy Boy's intentions, and he seems to be the one who will carry out the task that Joy Boy could not complete. Luffy has shown time and time again his resolve to liberate those who are oppressed, and his journey mirrors the legend of the sun god Nika, who was believed to free slaves. The exact nature of Joy Boy's unfulfilled promise and how it ties to the Void Century, the One Piece, and the ultimate truth of the world are some of the series' greatest mysteries. As Luffy continues his journey, it's likely that he will uncover more about Joy Boy's past, the purpose of the Noah Arc, and the true history of the world. The concept of the inherited will in Luffy's awakenings further cements his role as the one destined to bring about a new era and fulfill the promise left by Joy Boy. The revelations surrounding Luffy's devil fruit and his awakening seem to be setting the stage for the climax of the series, where the truth of the world will be unveiled and the task left by Joy Boy will be completed. You've covered a lot of intriguing points about Luffy's awakening and its connection to the story's broader lore and themes. The concepts of inherited will and prophecy are crucial in One Piece, and as you pointed out, Luffy seems to be fulfilling the role that Joy Boy once held. The idea of liberating oppressed races and unifying the world is a core theme in One Piece. The series has consistently showcased Luffy's desire to help others and bring freedom wherever he goes. It would indeed be a fitting culmination to the series if Luffy were to fulfill Joy Boy's promise by bringing the fishmen to the surface and liberating all races. The Laugh Tale and the One Piece treasure continue to be shrouded in mystery. The Roger Pirate's laughter and Roger's comments suggest that the treasure might have a deeper, symbolic meaning. With Luffy's awakening and the prophesized time possibly approaching, we might finally get to see what Joy Boy left behind and how it ties into the world's true history. Luffy's final battle against Blackbeard, or Emu, is also a highly anticipated moment. The contrast between Luffy's white transformation and Blackbeard's darkness, or Emu's black outfit, could symbolize the struggle between light and darkness. With the potential powers of Luffy's awakening, he might indeed be the one to come out on top and bring about a new era of peace and freedom. And that's all for today. If you enjoyed the video, we got more for you. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.